Hey there friends and enemies, JoPaWrites here again, and today I want to talk about Concord, a brand new 5v5 PvP hero shooter that just dropped its beta today, and I've honestly been enjoying far more than I would have ever anticipated. This game is, in my opinion, a ton of fun once you get past the fact that everyone is going to call it an Overwatch clone, and a lot of people were absolutely roasting this when it was fully revealed. And the reason for that is fully understandable. So when the game was announced, they showed off a cinematic trailer that had some hijinks with a group Guardians of the Galaxy style, and it very much felt like they were setting up a PvE game, but instead when they showed off it being a 5v5 hero shooter, everyone assumes it's just going to be an Overwatch clone. I understand why that disconnect led to people being a bit frustrating. However, after getting hands-on with this game, I think it improves upon the Overwatch formula and does some new things for the genre that I really enjoy personally and can see myself putting a lot of time into. So I'm going to jump into that, talk about why I am enjoying the game, why I think it could work out very well, and also some downsides, because I do think the game is not perfect so far, understandable with a beta, but the game is launching in the near future as well. So anyway, jumping right into it, the big elephant in the room is the $40 price tag. Now, I think this is a good price point for a game looking at something like Helldivers. That's a PvE game, but it is a price point that a lot more people will take a chance on rather than $70. And having played the game for a bit, if they stick to what we've seen so far in the beta, everything is unlockable through gameplay once you purchase the game. And I like that a lot, especially when it feels like a lot of the free-to-play games nickel and dime you. They try to have you spend $10, $20, $30 for skins and everything like that. Instead, this looks like you're going to unlock everything. I'm sure they're going to have a store, but hopefully everything is available to earn within the game through whatever currency or unlock mechanisms that they have. So that is what I've seen so far. It does feel like that is a step in the right direction. Another good thing, especially with this game being on PC, is that having a paid game means it'll likely cut down on the amount of cheaters that you see, because those cheaters would have to buy the game all over again once they do get banned eventually, if they have a good cheat detection system. So that is something that hopefully does get fixed in the future. It doesn't prevent people from cheating completely, but it could be a deterrent overall, and I do think that is a good thing. So jumping into the gameplay, the game has a bunch of different modes right off the bat, and I do think this is what separates it from Overwatch, and I'm going to explain why in a second. It does have standard respawn modes. You got TDM, you got collecting bounty cards called Trophy Hunt, and those respawn modes are going to be fun to just jump in, play around, have a good time with, and I think that is a good option, a fun thing to do. You can test out all different characters there, and I like that. It's a fun mode, but nothing too competitive, too serious. But then you get to Rivalry. That's another playlist, and this is going to have the no respawn options. So essentially something like Search and Destroy. You think of Valorant, for example, and these modes have a lot more intensity. You have to play your life a lot more. You have to really focus on playing the objective a bit more as well. Although I found that just slaying out tends to be a bit easier rather than trying to play the objective. But the same can be said when you aren't in the ranked playlist for Valorant as well, so I do feel like it kind of falls in line. The TTK is actually much higher than Call of Duty or Valorant, maybe not as high all the time as Overwatch. There are way more options because you have 2 guaranteed healers on your team at any given time in Overwatch, whereas in this game you can pick whatever of the 16 free gunners you want at any given time, with a certain caveat that I'm going to talk about in a second. And I do like that. I do like that there's a lot of different options, a lot of different team compositions. You're not forced to play a certain role or anything like that, and it just leads to a lot of variety from game to game, which I do enjoy. Now, we haven't found a meta yet or anything like that. I'm sure that'll happen over time. Buffs and nerfs will happen, but for now, it is enjoyable having a wide variety of characters on the field at any given time. In the no respawn modes, they do a very interesting thing when you're selecting your character. So instead of everyone just kind of free-for-all picking whatever character you want, there is a order. So essentially, if you pick first one round, you are going to pick last the next round. And so everyone's going to have a chance to pick first, second, third, etc. And I do like that a lot. It leads to everyone rotating what characters they're playing. If you and somebody else on the same team have the same main character, then you can both run it at different times during the match, which I think is a good idea. The other thing is, to make things a little bit more balanced, once you win a round in a no respawn mode, you actually are locked out of the character you won that round with. So you really have to get used to playing as a bunch of different characters. And I think that promotes diversity in a way that some people who want to just main and play one character might not enjoy. But for me, who likes variety, who likes to really test out different characters, see who I enjoy the most, I think that's an excellent idea. And it's really going to lean into making players experiment, have multiple different characters they can play as, and hopefully get good with. So I do like that aspect quite a bit personally. As far as the gameplay, like I said, a little bit longer TTK than something like COD or Valorant, kind of in the middle between that and Overwatch, and it feels like a lot of the different characters have pretty solid roles overall. If you are charging in with Star Child and you run into another tank, you're not going to really be able to take them down easily. But if you run into a squishy character, you can essentially 3-hit them with the charge into the slam into the shotgun. So a lot of versatility there. There's a character that can go invisible, and the higher skill ceiling you have with that character by getting damage, getting kills, the more you'll be able to go invisible, which I think is fantastic as well. Definitely leans into it. There are healer characters. There's 2 of them, I believe, so at launch right now. But there's also heal packs around the map. So once you get used to playing the maps, you'll be able to go to heals and play around those different heal areas as well, because there are cooldowns. It's kind of similar to Overwatch in the way those heal packs are. Ultimately, I don't have a favorite character so far. I've really enjoyed different ones, and I found that your free gunners, which are the characters, are really balanced around the enemy composition. So if I'm playing as a sniper and I'm running into a bunch of tanks, you have a bunch of big characters like Star Child, or you have other characters who are also very tanky like One-Off, or even something like Amari, then it's going to take a long time to take those characters down. Whereas if they're playing 5 small units, you can pretty much 1 or 2 tap them and just get them down immediately. So team composition is very important. Learning to play different characters is vital, and I like that aspect a lot because it does lead to a lot more variety. I'll probably talk about all the different characters in a future video, but for now, I want everybody to try out this game. They're giving away a lot of beta codes. I know they wanted a ton of people to play. Next weekend is actually a open beta, so if you are not available to play right now and you don't want to try to chase down a code, next weekend everybody can play. And even this weekend, they tried to encourage everyone to play as much as possible by giving away the beta for free. If you are playing, if you don't have PS Plus, they're giving away beta codes not only through streamers, but also on Twitter and other options as well. So you can play already if you would like. If a friend of yours bought the game, they'll get 4 extra codes to play with as well to give out to their friends. So that's also very nice. And ultimately, I hope this game is successful. I look at it, I understand why it was initially roasted. I'm actually a fan of the concept of adding those cinematics every single week to really expand upon the lore, get used to the characters, because I really do feel like falling in love with your favorite characters is important for a game like this, because it does make you feel attached to them, and you want to get better with certain characters if you grow to connect to them ultimately. Even in RPGs, you see it all the time where people will not take the most meta character just because that's their favorite. They like their personality and everything. And I do think it's something that adding PvE content might not make sense for development time, but having those cinematics might be a bit more cost effective, or might make more sense for what they're doing ultimately. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, helps me out tremendously. Shows you want to see more Concord content going forward. This looks likely to be one of my main PvP games for now. I'm very much enjoying it personally. I'd love to hear from you guys on whether you have tried it out, whether you're enjoying it, whether it's not for you, whatever the case may be. My name is Jopa. Have a good one. I'll catch you all later.